Hello and welcome to ThePrint and welcome to ThePrint's Political Adda. I'm Deepika Amirapu, and joining me this evening in conversation is Mr. John Brittas. He represents the CPM in the Rajya Sabha. He's a journalist, a politician, and also the MD and Chief Editor of Malayalam Communications, which owns and runs the Kairali TV and the Kairali News Channel. I'm also joined by Sharan Poovanna, who's our Deputy Editor at ThePrint. Thank you so much for joining us for this very important conversation on delimitation, sir. I think we are here to discuss the key concerns put forth by the southern states and by regional parties that are prevalent in the southern states. We are apprehensive about the fact that the 2026 delimitation based on the population data will disproportionately increase the parliamentary representation of the North Indian states that have not been very successful in implementing the population control policy, whereas the southern states that have actually been very successful in implementing the population control are looking at a reduced political voice, marginalized power, and lessened federal influence among the southern states. Would you be able to talk about why this demographic punishment is being meted to us, and what solutions would you actually put forth as the CPM?
See, there are a couple of facets to the questions you have asked. First is, it's not a north-south clash or a conflict. I don't want to depict this as a match between North India and South India. This is a question of the unity of this country. It's a question of the federal equilibrium and also the balance. And second is that if the country had a policy of population control, and if it was encouraged formally by the government of India, there shouldn't be a digression from that. And those principal actors who would have performed well, they shouldn't be punished. So there are two aspects to it. And further, see, the first article of the Constitution says that India is a union of states. I feel that many of the states will get submerged in this rise of numbers, and their relevance would be lost in national politics. So it's not merely say I am fighting with UP or Bihar, but I am fighting for the cause of the unity of this nation and federal spirit of this constitution. So that's something which I think we need to be convinced of. And further, see the diabolic game of this government. First of all, these constitutional amendments are being brought forward when two crucial states are in the midst of elections. And there is no urgency whatsoever for these special sittings. We had formally written to the government that please do let us know the proposal of the government with regard to the constitutional amendments, and let us all sit after 29th in an all-party meeting. Let us have a semblance of transparency that is required for democracy. The government didn't heed us, and the government has unilaterally decided that they will have the special sittings on 16th, 17th, and 18th. And now the bills have been circulated. We are shocked to learn that even those assurances which were given to many parties on a one-to-one discussions are missing in this crucial delimitation bill. So we have decided that we will oppose this bill. We are for women's reservation. Let this 543 number that is remaining in Lok Sabha be considered for 1/3 reservation for women, and let it be effected with immediate effect.
Okay. I have a second question to add to what you were just talking. As much as it is not between the North and the South, wouldn't you agree that this would still accord a lopsided political advantage to the North Indian states, given the fact that your assurances were not paid heed to and your suggestions were not really adhered to by the central government? There has to be some kind of a weightage given to population control, like you're suggesting.
No, I will not put it advantage to North India. I will say this advantage to BJP. BJP thinks that they are strong in a particular region. So if the number of seats go up in that region, they will hugely benefit. So it's not the concern of the North Indian states, it's a concern of the BJP as such. Because they want to have the advantage of the increase in population that region must have attained. My rough calculation is that the so-called balance that has been maintained would be upended completely. See, now the delimitation bill says that the census of 2011 would be considered for
That's
the
right.
delimitation. If it happens, there is a rough figure which we have worked out. Suppose Uttar Pradesh is having 80 seats. If you are going to do the delimitation as per the 2011 census, this 80 will go up to 140. Just imagine, 80 will go up to 140. And think about Kerala, because I am from Kerala.
Yes.
Kerala, 20 will go up to 23. So our number will increase by 3, and UP's number will go up from 80 to 140. So their share now is approximately 14.7. As of today, the share of UP in Lok Sabha is 14.7. That share
Yes.
will go up to 16.5, whereas the share of Kerala, which is 3.7, will come down to 2.7. So this is applicable to many states. In South India also it is applicable, because Tamil Nadu's share now in present Lok Sabha is 7.2. It will come down to 6%. Most of the southern states share in Lok Sabha seats will come down drastically. So I feel that already we are being penalized because of our
Yes.
achievement. Since we are excelling in many of the social sectors, we are being punished when centrally sponsored schemes are being brought in. So we have a feeling that, nagging feeling that we are a fiscal colony, or a colony in fiscal terms to North India. So the so-called delimitation would pave way for a political colonization of South also. So what is the difference between East India Company's India and Modi's South India? ज़्यादा फर्क नहीं है, एक ही होगा.
Mr. Brittas, I want to ask you, so what are the alternatives to the population-based approach as of now? What do you think would be an alternative to make sure everyone's treated fairly?
See, we have been suggesting that when this bill was, what is it, Nari Shakti Vandan Adhiniyam? I don't know. I am from the south. Now, almost all these bills are so peculiar.
Both of us too.
Titles are so weird. Nobody is in a position to. Half the population doesn't understand that. Anyway, forget about that. When this bill was brought forward in 2023, we had told the government, why are you linking with a prospective census? Why are you linking with the delimitation? Affect it now, because that was the example which we said earlier. See, when this local body reservation happened for the women,
Yeah.
during Narasimha Rao government's period, there was a consensus among all the parties. That time, we hadn't linked that with any census or delimitation. We had gone ahead with that. And it was 33, then in states like Kerala, it is 50. Now, if you look at the real percentage of women in local body in Kerala, it would be approximately 60. There was absolutely no heartburn, no concern. There was no diabolic game that was played by any political party. That's why we precisely told this government. I also moved an amendment saying that dealing it from census and delimitation, implement as it is with immediate effect. If they had heeded to us, we would have had 1/3 of the Lok Sabha members now, because 2024 elections we could have done that. Now all of a sudden, something has descended on them, thinking that now we have to do it for 2029, so we shouldn't be waiting for the census, 2026 census or the delimitation. See, BJP has been contemplating their dubious games right from the beginning. That was the reason why even the census, which was to happen in 2021, was inordinately delayed. 1 year we could have talked in terms of COVID. They delayed it because they had this ulterior motive of upending or tweaking the federal balance of this country. So our stand is very clear. The solution is very simple. If the government is very keen that Nari Shakti has to be demonstrated, let them come to Parliament. Let us reserve 1/3 of the seats that is prevailing now in Lok Sabha and state assemblies. Let us go straight. Why do they want to go on like this? 2011 delimitation commission, all this nonsense which they are trying to teach us. So I feel that they should be much more uh, linear now than having such a roundabout thinking and a loop in which they think that they can trap the opposition. We are not for that.
Mr. Brittas, you made a point earlier that, when there are, very key elections going to happen, polling for Tamil Nadu, West Bengal is about to happen. And at this time, they have come up with a bill such as this. Do you think that they can gain something by bringing about such a bill? I mean, what could be their thinking? And what according to you, is their thinking?
No, they are thinking that they can gain something out of it. Because in these two states, they feel that if they are seen to be empowering the women voters may choose them or rather favor them. That was their thinking in 2024 elections also. 2023, when they brought this Nari Shakti Bandhan Adhiniyam, they had thought that the women would resoundingly support them, so their Charso Parka slogan would be fulfilled. Kya hua? Kuch nahi hua. It didn't happen, no. But still, they feel that they can do it. And another thing is that it's not very simple. They think that in the midst of these elections, if they bring all those things in the name of women empowerment, they can have this federal equilibrium turned upside down at a stroke. So the confusion which they wanted to create, and if they feel that confusion will remain, in that mayhem, in that opaque scene, they feel that they can bring in this, whereby the correlation between the states can be completely tweaked, completely changed. That is what they intend to do. We are against that.
So there have been multiple. Oh, I'm so sorry. Deepika, go ahead.
The Congress, I think chief ministers in the South, Mr. Siddaramaiah, Mr. Revant Reddy have all written to, I think, Mr. Pinarayi Vijayan and all of them, saying that there has to be a better way and better formulas of actually arriving at delimitation and proportionate representation for southern states. What has been the CPM stance on this? Some are talking about a weighted representation, others are talking about a pro rata allotment and an increase of seats. What has been the CPM suggestion to the center? That's one part of my question. The second part is, what assurances did you seek from the BJP or the Prime Minister, also the Delimitation Commission? And what is it that you're waiting to be assured about as yet?
See, what we have suggested is that let us implement women's reservation on the basis of the present membership of Lok Sabha and Assembly. And with regard to the delimitation in future, let all the stakeholders sit together and try to have a deft balance. And let the southern states be not punished. We have not suggested a formula you should do like that, because that itself would be, dictating our terms to them. Let us all sit together. Because when Srimati Gandhi found it prudent not to punish southern states, that was echoed in the decision of Atal Bihari Vajpayee also. So there was a consensus from one side to other side of the political spectrum. There was a consensus. That's why the same decision taken by Srimati Gandhi with regard to the freeze of the numbers was reiterated by Atal Bihari Vajpayee in 2001. So all of a sudden, why is it that Modi government doesn't want to have a consensus on that thing? And there are other issues also. See, what is this fussy about having the number taken up? I don't know how does this country be served by increasing numbers? How does it serve? If you take the membership of Lok Sabha from 543 to 850, Do you think that it will enrich democracy? It will weaken democracy. It will weaken democracy because the parliament will become a dysfunctional house. It will be a chaotic house. That is what the executive wants. Further, as a student of political science, I always say that, see, the objectives of being an MP is not to redress the grievances of the local population or to attend marriage or death ceremony. The cardinal objectives or responsibility of a MP lies in lawmaking, in policy formulation, and moreover, holding the executive to accountability. These are the main principles. That's why B.R. Ambedkar, in his reply, stated in the Constituent Assembly that we shouldn't tie up the MP to local issues. He has got a larger role to perform. Now, what has happened? See, now from 120 days of sittings, the parliament sittings have come down to 55 to 58. And now you increase the number. What will be the quality of the discussions and deliberations in the Lok Sabha? 200, 300 members will get up and create a ruckus there and you pass the bill. You don't have even an effective committee system there. So, why are we increasing the number? And I will tell you one more thing, which would be very interesting. This government came to power by saying that minimum government and maximum governance.
Yes.
This runs contrary to the principle. If you are expanding the second pillar of the government, that is the assembly and Lok Sabha and parliament, what could be the administrative costs that would be going up? Humongous. And further, as per the 91 Constitutional Amendment, you have pegged the number of ministers vis-a-vis the strength of Lok Sabha or assembly. That means you can't exceed the size of the ministry beyond 15% of the strength of Lok Sabha. The moment you increase the number of Lok Sabha seats and assembly seats, you think about having a larger jumbo government in every state and union government. So what was their motto of having a minimum government and maximum governance?
I think very, very fair, valid points. Sharan, go ahead with your question.
Yeah, Mr. Brittas, this is a question about the time frame and implementation. The Delimitation Commission took about 3.5 years to complete the exercise the previous time around. So do you think that they will be able to, get the guidelines, finish the entire process before the 2029 elections this time? Is this possible also?
See, that is what this government is promising us. And with this government, I believe there won't be any sanctity for the Delimitation Commission. What has happened in Jammu and Kashmir and Assam? The government made a script and that was made as the report of the Delimitation Commission. Right? So the Amit Shah would be having already a script in hand. He would just pass on that script to the Delimitation Commission and that would be doled out. And it would be in their interest to have it in 2029 because their fortress will get enriched and the so-called opposition space will get shrunk. So it would be in their benefit. Otherwise, they are fearing that the way in which the country is being led by Modi government, they will get a drubbing in the next elections. So they are trying to use this women's reservation as a Trojan horse to get their parochial political agenda of being a perennial ruling party in this country.
Right. My last question to you, sir. Mr. Stalin has said that there's going to be statewide protests in case there's not a constructive discussion and the southern states' suggestions are not taken into consideration. Mr. K.T. Ramarao from the Bharat Rashtra Samiti has suggested likewise, and so has Mr. Y.S. Jagan Mohan Reddy. What is it? You come from a land of protests yourself. What is it that the CPM is going to do to ensure that the voices of the South are adequately heard and that there's a proper discussion and debate allowed in the parliament?
No, we will participate in the debate. We will oppose these bills tooth and nail. Women's reservation is non-negotiable for us. But the agenda of this government is not for women's reservation. And our state, Kerala, will align closely with our neighbors, other southern states, and we will synchronize our movements ahead. See, we already have a semblance of coordination between Tamil Nadu and Kerala. All these parties have a relationship which is very solid. So we feel that coming days we will coordinate fully with our compatriots in Tamil Nadu, Andhra, and other places, and we will have a joint, unified political movement. But I can tell you one thing: this government is playing with the fire. This government, Modi government, and this government should have some semblance of wisdom or knowledge or insight about what happened elsewhere. What happened in Pakistan? Why was Bangladesh formed? I am not threatening this government. As a student of history, I am trying to bring in certain episodes in other parts of our globe. Let us be very sure about it. The unity of this country can be maintained only by upholding three prerequisites. These three prerequisites are: one, democracy; second, secularism, that is diversity; and third, federalism. If any of these prerequisites are being seen run down by the government, it will only affect the unity of this nation, which will be detrimental for anybody and everybody, irrespective of where they are from, north or south or east or west. This is something any sensible government will have to keep in mind. That's why Atal Bihari Vajpayee, despite from North India, despite heading a northern party at that time, BJP was dominantly a northern party, concurred with the idea of freeze of numbers for 25 years. So this sense needs to be taken by the present leadership of BJP also.
All right, Mr. Brittas, extremely eloquent and fearlessly candid. Thank you so much for joining us for expressing your views at Political Adda. We hope to talk to you again at the end of the 3-day discussion and debate.
Thank you very much.